Hey, friend Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This one I was actually kind of eager to hear because it's not that I'm a huge Queens of the Stone Age fan, but I have listened to them quite a few times, and I have some of their albums, which is strange for me not to have all of them because I'm usually one of these guys that has to have every single album. But when I heard that these the guys were coming out with a new album, I'm like, oh cool, I'll have to check that one out. I haven't listened to their stuff in quite a while, so I was really eager to hear what they had done lately. The last couple albums I haven't gotten. I really probably haven't listened to much of what they've done in like the last 10 years, or maybe even more. So I was going into this with kind of an open mind, and I kind of know what you're going to expect with a Queens of the Stone Age album, but there's always little twists and turns here. Just a little brief history of how I got to find these guys. I remember the band Caius. That's kind of how this band was kind of started. Josh Homme, I think is how you say his name, was a member of the band Caius. I remember just reading about them in magazines and hearing about how they did these shows out in the desert and with generators and stuff, and bring out and have big parties and have people come out there and do these shows. So I found it intriguing. So I got Welcome to Sky Valley, I think, is that the name of the album? I don't know, I can't remember now. I think that was it. Listened to it and I go, this is different, this is cool. Of course, Josh didn't sing in that band, but he came up with a lot of those riffs and stuff that I don't even know how you'd classify it. They call it desert rock, but I don't know, it sounds like the beginnings of stoner rock kind of to me, but I liked it, and I got all the Caius albums, and I was like really into them for when they were around. And of course when they broke up, I was kind of bummed about the whole thing. I got the first Queens of the Stone Age album, and it was quite a bit different. I mean, the groove turned into more I don't know, not quite as like the same groove. He did a lot of changes throughout the songs instead of just like the same groove from beginning to end, which is what a lot of the Caius stuff did. And Caius, I got a lot of the bootleg stuff too, and they did like lots of extended jams and whatnot. But anyway, so yeah, it was okay. I didn't really fall in love with Queens of the Stone Age. Hanging out with a friend of mine, and she was playing songs for the deaf, and that song that No One Knows came on, and I was like, that sounds familiar. And I thought, even without being told, that it was Dave Grohl. I just knew it was Dave Grohl on the drums. I was like, oh, that's cool. So that like drew me in again, so I went and got that album, and was really digging that one. And then once again, just kind of like lost track of what they were doing. Josh went on and did a bunch of side projects, and I did get them Crooked Vultures. I did enjoy that. That's quite a different listen as well. But so I knew kind of what I was going to get with this album. So of course when I started listening, yep, exactly what I thought I was going to get with the first song. It's and if you've never heard Josh sing, he's got a unique style of singing. It's very clear, clean voice, but it's also very full at the same time. But he's got the tone to his voice is very unique to himself. You just instantly know it's him. And I'm not going to go through song by song on this one, but the overall feel of this is not quite as heavy as rockin', I guess, as some of the earlier stuff that I remember listening to. Like, I don't know if I didn't get the last two albums, so I don't know if those were more along those lines or not, but you definitely got the cool riffs. You always know you're going to get some interesting riffs, some interesting guitar work, and that's all over this thing. I just find the way he writes and the riffs he comes up with very unique and cool. They tend to do some, I don't even know if some of the time it's straight 4/4, but they added an extra beat here, and they make the straight 4/4 sound like it's like an odd timing just with the way the guitar is playing against it. And sometimes there's an extra beats or different timing in there, and it still manages to groove without sounding awkward. So he just has a unique style of writing. It almost reminds me of like early Foo Fighters stuff when Dave would throw in that little extra stuff here and there. And that's all over the place in this album. One thing I did notice, he's singing a lot more falsetto on this one than I remember him singing on any other project that I've heard him in. And I don't care for his falsetto voice as much as I do his regular full voice. So a few of these songs I thought, I probably would have enjoyed a little bit more if it was him singing full voice instead of falsetto, but that's just my personal opinion, so please don't kill me over that little critique, but that's just me. I just prefer his full singing voice over that. And I will say that probably my favorite song on here was number 3, Negative Space. That one really reached out and grabbed me. It had a really cool groove and riff to it. And then, just a couple catchy things with the people saying Sicily. Actually thought those were pretty good. And then the last song, I didn't realize was a 9-minute song. It just didn't seem that long, which is a good thing. When a song does not seem as long as it really is, it's, it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. I was actually, oh wow, I didn't realize that song was that long type of feeling. It doesn't, sometimes, when you hear something that's really that long, you're like, oh, when's this thing going to end? But I didn't have that feeling with this one at all. However, with past Queens of the Stone Age stuff, I don't find myself going back and pulling the stuff out of the catalog very much. I didn't even get the last 2 albums. And unfortunately with this one, a couple songs that I liked is probably not going to be enough to make me grab this one out of the, out of my collection and play it too often. Although I really find the musicianship excellent. I enjoyed listening to it. I think the artisticness of this is like amazing. I really I really enjoy that part of it. Although I don't know what it is. I just cannot put my finger on it. I listened to this one several times through, and nothing really reached out and grabbed me like something I'm probably going to want to listen to again. Sometimes albums grow on you after you listen to them a few times, but I don't want to force myself to play something and try to make myself like it either. So unfortunately, I just don't think this one's going to make the any playlist or anything like that, but some of you out there may really love this one and really hear something that I'm not hearing, and that's what music's all about, just different tastes, difference of opinions and stuff. And like I said, nothing really bad on here. I'm not going to rate it because I probably would give it an unfair rating just because it didn't really do much for me, but still enjoyed listening to it, which I know it's an odd thing, almost contradicting myself, but that's just is what it is on this one. So anyway, feel free to tell me what you guys think about it, if anybody's picked it up or listened to it yet, and maybe somebody else loves this one, so I'd love to hear what you heard in it that I didn't. But anyway, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. See you.